Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
And today we're getting back into the NFL divisions, Brother Bear. It's exciting, man. We're going to deep dive once again into your favorite teams.
Yeah.
Whether you like what we say or not, we're going to say it with our chest.
Breaking it down, like it or not.
Yeah. Which one are we getting into today?
AFC South, the Southern Conference.
Oh, man, I know that one way too well, man.
Unfortunately.
Being a not a Texans fan, but being from Houston.
Yeah, part of the Texans, man.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still like every division there is in football, man.
You know what's crazy about the Texans? I think the team's are worse off now than they were with Bill O'Brien. Who would have thought?
And that's tough to say, but I'm glad you said it because I think this is a dumpster fire. Like
yeah.
I don't see a way out for a really long time. And Bill O'Brien, although he did make very bad decisions and stupid mistakes, he wasn't a bad coach, man.
He's a good guy too. I mean, he did a lot of good things outside of that. I mean, he was good.
I know he has a special needs son.
Well, he's like charity and all these things. I think he meant well. He just wasn't good at doing the general manager stuff. But, I mean, overall as a coach, I think he's good. I know he's with Alabama now, so.
He is?
Yeah, he's their OC.
Oh, I was going to try to get him on the Maple Cats.
Yeah, you could still recruit him, man. Pull him from Alabama.
You ain't going to pay him much, but
30 cents a gallon.
He's got enough money now.
Yeah, he's good on there.
All right, well, I guess we'll get down with the home team.
Let's get on it.
Let's go down to Houston, Texas.
Oh.
For the Houston Texans. Let's run it down real quick. We got, the quarterback situation's a little hairy right now. They got Deshaun, they got Tyrod. Running backs chock full. David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, Mark Ingram. Wide receivers staying pretty much the same. Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Kiki Kuti. But they brought in a little Nico Collins, brother. And then we got tight end Jordan Akins, blah, blah, blah. Star offensive lineman Laramie Tunsil. The rest is stink. Titus Howard, stink. High draft pick. Defense, wow. I don't know where to begin, to be honest with you.
You don't like how it's shaping out?
It's bad, man. I mean, I like Zach Cunningham. I guess Whitney Merciless. But, Justin Reed. I like Justin Reed. But beyond that, wow. Can you smell that?
Yeah, it stinks, but I think they improved from last year, man. I mean, it's a better defense than what they ran out last year. They were like the worst.
They had J.J. Watt, though.
Yeah, more like J.J. Twat in between the legs. But let me tell you.
That was mean.
They brought in Desmond King, who was a really good player for the Chargers, a good slot corner. Bradley Roby's back, he's healthy. Terrence Mitchell, a solid guy, was on the Browns last year. Good depth piece at corner. They stunk there. Just bringing in additional pieces, boosted up a little bit. I don't mind it. It wasn't big splash plays. They didn't make big trades. They didn't bring any big names. But Shaq Lawson, it brings some pressure out there. And then the two guys in the middle, Ross Blacklock and Charles Minihue, I think are bright spots on that defensive line. Ross Blacklock was a high-round pick last year, and Minihue was also in that draft, but they look like they're workers and ready to get after it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Christian Kirksey. Has he been injured a lot lately? He had that one, or a couple good seasons.
With Cleveland, yeah. He was with Green Bay last year.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty solid.
And hey, there's DeMarcus Walker.
Yeah, he's on the Tex.
Would you look at that, man? I mean, you said all that, but they still stink in my eyes.
Yeah, they're going to be one of the worst.
They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
They're going to be on the field so much because their offense stinks. They're just going to It's going to get ugly in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, what are some of the bright spots for you on this team in terms of offense?
Oh, offensively?
Yeah.
Nico Collins.
Oh, I love Nico, baby.
100% Nico Collins is a dog. I love his profile. I love his opportunity in Houston. Brandon Cooks is still the alpha. He's still going to be the most targeted guy. But, I'm expecting Nico to kind of take over and really shine. Even as a rookie, he's awesome. He's a big receiver, but he's also very fast. He's very good at high pointing the football. Just going to be a really good player for the Texans. And then, Philip Lindsay, I'm interested to see. I love watching him play, especially in his time in Denver. He was real good for them. But just coming to the Texans with this team that's really up in the air, it's going to be fun to see Philip Lindsay with his aggressive running style on this team. I'm a big fan of Philip Lindsay. And then Davis Mills, was the first pick for the Texans in the 3rd round. I have a lot to say on Davis Mills. We'll get to it on a later point. But I think he's going to compete with Tyrod Taylor for the starting quarterback position early and often. So something to look out for.
Now, you mentioned the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So is the verdict that Deshaun Watson is not going to play, even if he's not suspended or anything by the NFL?
I don't think he's going to show up. I think if the Texans decide not to trade him and he's not suspended, everything's good. I think he sits out this year. I don't think he sees the field at all unless he's on a different team. I think that's his mindset. I think he's still preparing like he's going to play because, there is a possibility he does get traded. But I think his time in Houston's over with. I think he's already really came out verbally about that. So
he gets fined every game he doesn't play or what?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But there's also rumors, too, that he might go under the commissioner's exempt list. Where he can't play, but I still think he gets paid just because he's still under investigation. So it kind of depends on how, the investigation goes and how early they kind of wrap it up. But a lot of people are saying it's not going to be wrapped up till 2022. So
yeah, I read that he's not going to do a disposition until February of 2022. So
yeah, so if that's the case, I could see Goodell putting him on the exempt list and him not being able to play all year.
I think that affects his trade.
Yeah, he won't get traded till next year, I don't think. That would be the logical decision, but the Texans aren't very logical, so we'll find out.
Deshaun Watson, ask yourself, was it worth it, man?
What, the massages?
Yeah, to get ding-a-ling-linged?
Hey, that's never a wrong thing. Just the way he went about it probably wasn't ideal.
No, it's a wrong thing, dude. He's a famous athlete. You can get any woman. You don't have to act all weird.
Just trying to ask for a massage?
Unless he's like a weirdo, but he seems like a normal guy. Unless he walks around with jorts and Velcro shoes, I don't see what's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the case or the individual masseuses or whatever that's about, but I don't know. It just seems like he's into some weird stuff, man, really. Probably did some things that made the women uncomfortable just because whatever he's into is a little bit off, a little bit too much.
Well, let's do a hypothetical.
Let's go.
How many wins do the Texans get if Deshaun plays?
That's good. Probably 5. I think they go like 5-12.
And then if Tyrod's the starter?
Maybe 1 game, 2 games, 0 games.
It's a pretty big discrepancy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think Tyrod's fine. I think he's going to play, but I have a little something else in mind. I think Davis Mills will end up playing the majority of the games for the Texans. I think Tyrod starts. He starts off fine, great, whatever. Maybe he starts playing bad. Davis Mills goes in, or maybe they just want to turn a page, man. Get the new guy out there. You got a lot to build for. Put Davis Mills in, and he struggles, but I think he's very highly looked upon in this Houston organization.
Interesting. I don't know about Davis Mills. Let's go to the running backs. Is that a 3-headed monster or a 3-headed warthog?
I think it's going to be a 3-headed monster, if you're asking me that.
You think it's going to work well?
I don't like the idea. I'm not sure, man. The Texans are all dysfunctional. You don't sign Mark Ingram, a guy of his age, with his experience, to a 1-year deal if you're not going to play him. You You don't trade for David Johnson, his big contract, to don't play him. You don't sign Philip Lindsay, a good back, to not play him. So those three guys are going to play. No one really knows how it's going to, turn out. Who's going to play what, who's going to do when. But it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think that this group of three running backs, you can smell them before you see them.
You think they stink, literally, or?
I just don't like the combination, really.
Why is that?
David Johnson's, a good running back, but he can't stay healthy. Philip Lindsay is a speedster. Philip Lindsay is probably the best running back there. Can we be honest with that right now?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he'll start, really.
And then Mark Ingram, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me why they signed him. What is he? He's past his prime. I don't know. I don't know the logic behind it. I don't know if there is logic behind it. But, yeah, they stink to me, man. They're a three-headed warthog.
Yeah, maybe they'll, who knows? Maybe Mark Ingram won't even make it out of camp.
Did they pay him?
Yeah, I'm sure they did, honestly. I don't know. Who knows, man? It's hard to predict what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, and then the wide receivers is, Brandon Cooks is going to do his thing. But like you said, the X Factor, man. The lone bright spot. Rico Nico, man.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about him? You like him?
I like him a lot, man. I didn't know much about him, but I watched some tape. He's a big guy, good hands. I like him, man. I like what he can bring. It's something the Texans lost when they traded DeAndre Hopkins. Now they have all these little guys. I was going to say a very derogatory term for small people, but I bit my tongue. You know what that word is? It starts with an M.
Midget.
Hey, you better watch it, bud.
You thought of it, man. That's in your head.
You're supposed to call him dwarf.
I call him little guy?
Yeah, little guy, shortstop.
Shortstop?
Yeah, it looks like we got a whole bunch of shortstops, man. Randall Cobb, old. Kiki Kuti, man. Is this his year, man?
No.
He had a little resurgence last year. Not bad. He was actually on my fantasy team for a couple games. He wasn't too bad, and then he got hurt again. Is that the story of his life?
Yeah. I mean, he takes down one team every year, the Indianapolis Colts. Every last 2 years he's had huge games against the Colts, and there's a disappearing act every other week. It's very interesting. I don't know if he's a great player. Maybe he was just in Bill O'Brien's doghouse, maybe with the new regime. Nick Caserio and David Coley can find a way to make him a special player. At this point, why even roll out Randall Cobb? I understand he's getting paid a lot, but, we know what he is. He's an older guy. Might as well let Kiki QT out there and play. I think he's only 23, 24. Young guy. Let's see what he's got. Throw him out there and see if it sticks.
Chris Conley?
He's another guy.
Is he sneaky?
He could be.
Is he the guy from Jacksonville?
Yeah, in Kansas City before then. He's a good player. I expect Nico Collins to be that big guy out there. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I don't really have much to say about the offensive line other than PU. You got any words for that offensive line?
No, not really. They brought in Justin Brett, Lane Taylor from the Packers, but
Marcus Cannon isn't bad, is he?
No, he's just old. I think he's just depth at this point.
Is he the guy from the Patriots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Titus Howard and Tunsil are kind of your, cornerstones at your right and left tackle.
Is he showing out now?
No, I don't think so, but, you spend a high draft capital. I wouldn't want him as my left tackle or anything, but, right tackle, I think he's fine. He's still kind of a project, but I think he's improving every year, so, there's no point in not letting him play at this point.
I think Laramie Tunsil is the most valuable player ever in NFL history.
In terms of?
The draft picks that he affected.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be hard to disagree. They gave up a lot for that young man.
He's good, though.
Oh, yeah. He's real good, left tackle.
He's probably got a real nice gas mask bong now.
Yeah, he's probably hitting that thing like it's one of his 3-year-olds.
Very good. And then, I mean, do you have anything to say on the defense?
No, not really. You basically touched point on it. Justin Reed's a star, safety. Zach Cunningham, he's emerging as one of the elite linebackers. I think if you're going to pick a player at each level, Justin Reed in the secondary, Zach Cunningham in the second level, and then probably Shaq Lawson on that defensive line. We'll see what he can bring. I'm interested to see what he does in Houston, kind of replacing J.J. Watt. So I don't know, man. They got some bright spots, but overall, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be ugly. Go get the guys in fantasy that are playing the Texans as many times as possible. But I do have an X factor for this team.
Who?
Brevin Jordan.
Dang it. That's mine.
The rookie out of Miami, Florida, tight end. He's interesting. He kind of slipped in the draft for some reason, but I really like Brevin Jordan as a player. He's a good player, solid. I think he's going to, show that he's a future starting tight end for this team. But the issue, of course, who's going to get Brevin the ball? How is he going to be involved? It's just, it's going to be tough sledding for these young players in Houston. But they're, like I said, man, he's kind of an undeveloped project in Brevin Jordan. But as a receiving tight end, I think he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up because I think he's going to be a good tight end. He's a prototypical modern-day tight end, really athletic.
Yeah.
Big dude. I watched him play one game for Miami, and I was like, who is this freak of nature running these routes, man?
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of, like, David Njoku, like how good they were.
Yeah, he's like that. Built like a freak, but still fast and has good hands. I was like, I had to look it up. I'd be like, man, this guy. And then I saw the Texans drafted him, and I was like, dang. That's an X factor, man. I like that.
What do you think the reasoning is, like him falling into the fourth round? Because he was projected to be the second tight end. Like him and Freiermuth, the Penn State tight end, were kind of guys you could kind of flip a coin with. But Freiermuth went a lot earlier than.
He's probably got like off the field stuff or something.
Yeah, maybe so.
He went to Miami.
But I think in the fourth round, that's excellent value for this player, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like him. I like his potential.
For sure. Yeah, I think they had a pretty good draft considering they only had, 5 picks.
What's your bold prediction?
My bold prediction is Nico Collins and Davis Mills emerge as franchise guys, cornerstones for this Houston Texans team.
Tell me more about Davis Mills and why you feel that way. I didn't watch him. I don't know much about him, but I want to know what you see in him.
Yeah, he's this is my theory. I think so. Their first pick was in the third round this year. I think they had their eyes on a quarterback, Kellen Mond, Davis Mills, one of those guys. With their third pick, no matter what, I think that was their goal, was to just snag a young quarterback here. But to me, I think they love Davis Mills. I think a lot of teams had him really high, like early second round. I don't know why he slipped. I guess other guys had other guys higher. But they took Davis Mills, and I think their thinking is, they're in prime position in 2022 to land the first overall pick. So if they're going to take a quarterback here in 2021 with Davis Mills, they're going to, in my opinion, it's two options. They're going to take a risk in a guy this year, see what he has, see if they can potentially find a franchise quarterback in Davis Mills. If it doesn't work out, you can snag one with your first overall pick next year. But in my opinion, I think Davis Mills was their number one overall quarterback in the next year's class. A lot of reports are saying Davis Mills, if he would have came out in 2022, he would have been the first quarterback off the board, highest rated one. So in my opinion, I'm thinking Davis Mills, they took here in the third round, but in their eyes, they had Davis Mills as the first quarterback in 2022 to come off the board. So why not get your quarterback this year? See what happens, let him play it out. If they like him, he's their franchise quarterback, and then you can use next year's pick on a different position or trade back, get more picks, which would make more sense. So I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Davis Mills comes in. Tyrod Taylor probably starts the year, but Davis Mills is going to play the majority of the games, finish out the season. With my bold prediction, I have him playing pretty well. So he emerges as a franchise quarterback. And then Nico Collins on the outside. I think he emerges as the number one target. Tyrod Taylor will be fine. I think he helps him out. But then, Davis Mills and Nico kind of show out and emerge as number ones. Because, we know Tyrod's not nothing special. In full seasons, with Buffalo, he did have a trip to the playoffs. He graded fine. But is he the same guy we saw in Buffalo? I don't think so. Especially after the last season getting that lung injury. Who knows how it's going to turn out. But I think they're going to give Davis Mills a shot definitely this year to see what they have. Especially going into 2022. So.
See, I'm at the other end of the spectrum. Like, if you know you're going to be bad next year, why take a quarterback this year?
Mm-hmm.
And just, if you have the number one pick next year, just take a quarterback.
See, that's what I'm thinking, too, is because Davis Mills is their number one quarterback over any other quarterback next year. That's why they took him this year. That's
but why did he drop so far in this draft?
I'm not sure. I think there's injury histories, and I guess people are concerned about him picking up an NFL offense. But, he went to Stanford, and I guess, if they view him as an Andrew Luck type of guy, maybe not, obviously probably not that high of a ceiling, but, someone who can kind of be a franchise guy, and they got him here in the third round, and he's really high on their draft board if he were to go in 2022. So, I like to gamble, because if it doesn't work out, then yeah, just go ahead and take your favorite quarterback next year with the first pick. So, I honestly like it. Like reading through that and thinking that in my head, it makes sense, and I'm actually a fan of just that certain scenario. I think it's a good idea. You're not wasting a first or second round pick. You're wasting your third round pick on a guy who could potentially be a franchise guy, a guy who's really high on your draft board, even over some of the guys in 2022.
I like it. I like the pick. Very bold.
Yeah, it's bold, man. Yeah.
But
what about you?
I think the Texans sell the team to Seattle.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, they sell it to, what's the city that needs it?
Portland,
yeah. Portland or Kentucky?
San Antonio?
The Mississippi Mudbugs? They sell the team.
In 2021?
Because this team is cursed.
They sell it in 2021 and they move locations?
Yeah.
Jeez, that would be shocking. Houston's too big, man.
They get another team in Las Vegas.
2 teams in Vegas?
Yeah.
Who would they be? The Vegas Texans?
Oilers?
No, that's Tennessee.
No, they take the Oilers back.
So the Vegas Oilers and the Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
That's bold, man.
Thanks, man. I wish I could give you a really good, bold prediction, but the only other bold prediction is that Deshaun Watson somehow plays.
Or a bold prediction for me would be they win more than 2 games.
Yeah, but that's, like I said, Texans, even their bold predictions stink. Yours was good, though. I have to admit that. I like that. You thought outside the box. Me, I don't think I cared enough. So I just said they get sold to the Mississippi Mudbugs.
Yeah, that's fine, man. It's the Texans, man. No one really cares anyway, so.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Texans fan. I know a lot of you listening might be Texans fans, but, my heart goes out to you. If you need to talk, call me. I'm pretty good at grief counseling in terms of football. So,
yeah, it's true, but a bright spot is, it could be turning of the guard. Maybe a few years, but maybe they'll come out on top with a solid team.
One can only hope.
Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed and your jinky juiced.
Yeah, keep your jinky juiced.
What do we got now, man? Let's move on from the Stinktons.
To the Colts. Indianapolis Colts.
Indy.
Oh, we got a new face of the franchise there, boy.
Do we or do we not?
We do. Changes the game, man.
What are you thinking about it?
All right, let's run it down on the roster, man. So we got Carson Wentz. They traded for him. They got Jonathan Taylor at the running back helm, Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines. Wide receiver, same old T.Y. Hilton. He drank from the fountain of youth. Michael Pittman Jr., Paris Campbell. Cousin Campbell, Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox at tight end. Oh, and this offensive line. Man, those are some slobber lockers. Those guys can push some buttons. And then they got, they got their rookie in Kwity Paye. DeForest Buckner holding it down. Darius Leonard, one of the best linebackers in the league. Their secondary, Kenny Moore II, Xavier Rhodes, Julian Blackman. As far as their defense goes, you know what I mean? But it's just a solid team, man, a good group of guys. And I think Carson Wentz really has them trending in the right direction towards the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, I agree too, man. Some people are worried about Carson Wentz's outlook in Indianapolis, but, I'm not one of those guys, and I don't think Aaron is either.
Nope.
Carson's success with Frank Wright as an offensive coordinator in Philly was well documented. His struggles last year, they've been acknowledged. Carson's kind of took that one on the chin, but he no longer plays for that team. He no longer has to play pitch and catch with the QB turned receiver, Greg Ward. Those guys out there, a bunch of stinks. They were not good. Injured offensive line, just a recipe for disaster. You can't put the blame on Carson. Even though he didn't play well, a lot of things were not in his favor. This year with the Colts, one of the best offensive line, newly signed Eric Fisher as his left tackle, one of the best left guards in NFL history, Quentin Nelson. And just a super strong offensive line, man, no weaknesses. T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, and big things from Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell's the X factor for this offense. They want to take that next step. You want to be dangerous. You want to be up there with the Chiefs. Paris Campbell's got to step up. He's got to be healthy. I just like it a lot, man. I like the way things are turning out for this team. I'm a believer in Carson Wentz, and with the weapons and the O-line, it's looking really bright.
Yeah, you're passionate about this team.
Yeah,
I can feel it rushing through your blood. It's actually contagious. I'm getting hyped up just sitting here.
Juicy.
I don't know if I can sit in this chair for much longer, man.
Juicy.
But yeah, you mentioned a lot of good points. I like how you brought up Paris Campbell.
Yeah, X Factor.
I think the X Factor is the young wide receiver stepping up.
Which one's that?
Pittman and
Paris
Campbell.
Receivers? Yeah, for sure, man.
And I think because, T.Y. is, he's on his last leg, man. I'm surprised he didn't just call it quits, man. But, and I think baby hands Jack Doyle, his time has come to relinquish that spot to Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, let's go.
The gentle giant.
I like that one.
Great at knockout basketball, man, on the turf, man. You'd be so surprised with that guy's jump shot.
Yeah, 6'8" behemoth.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. Imagine that guy in the red zone.
Yeah, that's his strength. You see, there's games where he'll have, 2 catches, but one's a touchdown because he's a freak. Yeah,
and then Jonathan Taylor's going to feast. Nyheim Hines is good. And my question is, what's Marlon Mack like now? Is he in purgatory, or is he...
I think he's back, man. He said he's 100%.
Is that scary for Jonathan Taylor?
It's great for the Colts. If you're looking at JT for fantasy, yeah, it's a little bit intimidating. But for the Colts as a team, that's wonderful. You can never go wrong with too much depth. We've seen Marlon Mack carry the workload. If Jonathan Taylor gets nicked up, Marlon Mack can step right in and be the guy. It's really good depth for the Colts. Nyheim Hines as well. He plays his little third down role real nice, one of the best in the league at it. And it's just a great combination of RBs. You can throw them all in at the same time. They all can catch passes. They all can, make some good plays. So this offense is really, really nice, and it's fun to look at on paper.
This offensive line, they create holes so big a minivan could drive through it.
Yeah, you could probably park your Johnson on it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, man. If you really wanted to. You don't know what you're talking about? Oh, man, we lost him again. Where's your helmet?
You could probably breed a full-bred panda bear in between those guys.
Yeah, you could. Listen, man, you can do just about anything in those holes they create for the running back and give Carson Wentz the time he needs, because obviously he's not good under pressure. But that's key for him. The situation is golden for Carson Wentz. Like you mentioned, Frank Wright, Carson Wentz was an MVP kind of guy, man, back in the day.
I kind of expect him to get back to that level.
And I think, the Colts will be a powerhouse this year. So a team to worry about, man.
Yeah, and the defense, they got some of my favorite guys in Darius Leonard. I mentioned Jerome Baker yesterday. I'll mention Darius Leonard.
JB, baby.
Really love Darius Leonard. Kind of undersized, but he plays like he's 250. Guy's a stud. He's making plays all over the field. He's not scared of nobody. And he's really good, one of the best. Bobby Okereke, solid, really good 1-2 hit right there. And just real good. I mean, as a defense last year, I think they were like 29th in pass rushing. So what they did is they brought a bona fide pass rusher in, Kwity Paye. He fits seamlessly on the edge in this 4-3 scheme. He's a big guy right there in the defensive end. And just real solid. Him next to DeForest Buckner is going to be a problem.
We will Rock Ya-Sin. Keep your eye on Rock Ya-Sin, man.
Yeah, Kenny Moore is one of the best slots. And Julian Blackmon as a safety. Real good, man. This is a really strong D.
What happened to Malik Hooker?
Free agent walked. I think he was planning to sign with the Dolphins, but I don't think he signed nowhere yet.
I thought Malik Hooker was a good safety.
Yeah, he's not bad. I think he's just battling injuries. And they kind of replaced him.
Yeah, a solid team. You got any bolds?
Yeah, my bold prediction is Carson Wentz has a bounce-back year, leads Indianapolis to the AFC Championship, and they finish as the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Holy, you're really high on these guys.
No, that's just a bold prediction, man.
Go get it, young fella.
I just like the way they're built, man. They're built to win, so if it works out, yeah, I could see it.
Mama, there goes that man again.
Mama, I don't have no shorts under my pants.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's your bold prediction, man?
My bold prediction is you look at that wide receiver core and you say, man, there's nothing there for me really right now. They go out and they go get Julio Jones to solidify this resurgency of this offense, man. If they have Julio Jones, Carson Wentz, and these young bucks stepping up, Mo Alley Cox too, that's a scary, scary sight to see. Julio back on turf, Julio 2 gloves, Julio on ice, Julio. You know what I'm saying? And that makes them a potential Super Bowl contender right whenever they ink him on that piece of paper.
Yeah,
that's my bold
bold,
prediction,
man.
Is that the Colts are the ones they're talked about, but they're not the front runners, but they go out of their way and they get Julio. Bold.
Me gusto, man. I love that.
Yeah. That's what I got for you. What are they going to finish in terms of record?
I have the Colts going 11-6. I think there's a lot of winnable games on that schedule. What about you?
I have them going 12-5.
Oh man,
looks like I was higher than you on them, buddy.
Yeah, you're a lot higher on them than I am.
I just think they're well rounded at every position, but the 12-5 is if they have Julio. If they don't have Julio, I'll give them. I like yours, 11-6.
Yeah, that's real strong. They look good, man.
Julio's worth a game, don't you think? A win?
Yeah.
A win or two?
Yeah, it is. What does this mean for T.Y. and them boys if Julio comes?
T.Y. is an afterthought.
You think he just sits next to Julio and holds his pockets?
I think that basically, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
He's going to be Julio's shadow, but ineffective.
Yeah, that would be a great fit, man.
Because, I mean, dude, you got to play your young guys, man. It's time to see if they can really play.
Yeah.
So T.Y.'s done. I mean, T.Y. is an all-time great for the Colts. Power to you, brother. But, if Julio's in town, there's a new sheriff in town. And you know what they say? This town ain't big enough for the both of ye.
Yeah, for sure. They also have Zach Pascal, too, a guy we didn't mention, but he's good depth. He's always been good for the Colts.
Yeah, he makes plays, man.
But Julio with Carson, too, is another thing I want to point out because Carson loves his big guys, man. Alshon Jeffrey was his favorite target for a few years. And
imagine him with Julio, man. He's gonna be on Julio like stank on poop.
yeah, he's going to be wiping near him for sure. And Julio in the blue and white would be kind of cool. Like
Very slick.
the blue jersey,
With
the white helmet.
with a black visor
Oh, that would be,
or a blue visor.
that'd be sick.
Yeah, I'd get his jerseys.
Yeah, I'd probably wear his stuff if he let me.
What number is he? 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Julio gets traded to any team, they're gonna give up 11.
Unless it's A.J. Brown and Tennessee.
If I was number 11, I would, do it in a way that was like, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it, so I'd wipe my butt with the jersey and hand it to him and say, it's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, and then
You think you can walk in here and just take my number? I'm like the number 6 wide receiver on the depth chart, dude.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't like you, and then he'd choke slam you and bust your head on the concrete.
And then after that, he'd respect me.
Yeah, maybe, but you're hospitalized and probably never the same.
I'd sue him.
Nah, you just say, hey,
I'd cut into that pocketbook a little bit.
man had my number 11.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how I'd be, man. That's my number, man. And you think you can walk in here and just, pull your
Flaunt
shorts
your
down.
jaunts.
Yeah, you think you can just flaunt your jaunts around here.
Ain't happening.
But I've been flaunting my jaunts since day one.
Yeah, it's troubling. What do we got next, man? Where are we rumming out to?
Where are we going? Let's go to the Jaguars.
Jacksonville's.
Jacksonville, where the shooters shoot, baby. Interesting place to have a football team.
You don't like the idea?
Isn't that weird, though? They have Tampa Bay, they have
Miami's.
Miami, and then you throw one in Jacksonville where that's like where Florida man lives, the weirdos and the shooters and the gangs.
Yeah, that's true, but hey, man.
What a weird...
It's the Jaguars. You got to respect it.
After the podcast, sit back in a bath and think about it.
I mean, where else would the Jaguars be?
Toronto?
Mexico?
Europe? There's a state I'm forgetting, like Utah.
London.
The Salt Lake Sea Slugs.
I think Jacksonville are actually talking about moving to London. I think that's a real thing.
I wouldn't like that.
I wouldn't like that for traveling either.
Would you go see the Salt Lake City Sea Slugs?
Probably not, honestly.
Yeah.
What are they, like light blue and pink?
What about the Albuquerque Albanians?
Albuquerque aliens.
It's a nice one.
And they're lime green and magenta.
Yeah. That would be a weird combo, but I would wear it.
It'd be like the weirdest thing. They have like UFOs in their stadium.
What about St. Louis?
They got kicked out.
The St. Louis...
Slobber knocks.
The St. Louis...
Snot devils.
Stirred starts.
Shark farmers.
I like that one. The St. Louis Shark Farmers. All right, let's move on with the Jaguars. Let's run it down. Let's run down the old depth chart, shall we?
Sure.
We got the number 1 overall pick at the helm, Trevor Lawrence at QB. Another first-round pick in Travis Etienne. At running back, James Robinson and Carlos Hyde, also in that backfield. Wide receiver, DJ Chark Jr., Marvin Jones Jr., Laviska Shenault Jr. They got Philip Dorsett II. Tight end, nothing to really sneeze about. O'Shaughnessy. Offensive line, average, maybe below average. The defense is interesting, man. They got some playmakers. I can't quite put my finger on whether they're good, average, or bad. They made some free agent moves with Shaquille Griffin. They have some young guys that I really like in Chasen and C.J. Henderson, Josh Allen. They got Malcolm Brown holding down that nose tackle. So it's just an interesting team. It's kind of exciting. I won't front. I'm gonna look forward to watching what Suburban Meyer and Jacksonville Jaguars do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a team that went 1-15 last year. I just feel like this year it's going to be a different environment, different vibe. It's just a feeling I get about this team, about the coaching staff, brought in some new guys. It's just this passion, I think, that it's kind of revived this team. I think Urban Meyer's a guy who gets his guys ready to play, very fiery, get them fired up. But I do like it, man. They still have some young talent, some good young players, offensively and defensively. It's hard to see where it goes in 2021, but, for the future, I like the outlook of this team. The personnel is very good. But I expect them to take a little bit of a jump. I don't think they're going to only win one game with Trevor Lawrence.
I just want to point something out.
Let's go.
I think this is the only team in the NFL that has something like this, or a wide receiver core like this. All of the wide receivers are juniors.
You got Johnson?
Not Colin. But I want to highlight Colin Johnson. I think he's a sleeper.
Colin Johnson should be their starting tight end.
That's not. They got Tim Tebow.
Chris Manhertz, Tim Teebs.
Tim Tebow couldn't catch if he threw the ball at him.
Yeah, he gets hit once and he's looking for a putting suit.
What does that mean?
Tim Tebow gets hit once and he's looking for the nearest putting store.
Tim Tebow gets hit once and he's going to turn into a priest.
Tim Tebow gets hit once, and he's looking to do 37 push-ups.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think they have him on the team to be the team pastor.
Yeah.
Because they're in a sinful place in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And, Suburban Meyer doesn't want anyone to turn into like an Aaron Hernandez or anything, so he brought Tim Tebow to keep an eye out. Because Tim Tebow was the only one to keep Aaron Hernandez in check.
That's a good point, and he's motivational.
Yeah, but, I heard his motivational speech, and it's like his voice just doesn't do it for me, man. He's kind of, soft-spoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when he screams, it's like, it's kind of cringy.
Yeah.
So, but let's get back to Colin Johnson. He's 6'6", big boy. I don't know, man. I think he can make some noise out there, man.
Yeah, I think he could, but I just don't see him finding a role with Chark, Marvin Jones, and Lavish.
You never know, man.
No, you're right. Who knows, man?
They have some big old wide receiver boys out there.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
They got the weapons for T-Law, man, for sure.
My question to you is, T-Law great right off the bat, or does he go through that little struggle?
Yeah. He goes through the rookie struggles, but ultimately he's going to be really good.
You think he cuts his hair?
Yeah, at some point.
When?
When he starts getting grays.
That's in a long time.
Not really. I mean, what, like 35?
I heard Suburban Meyer isn't going to cut his hair till they get their first win. I'm hoping that's in like 3 years.
He's going to look like someone's mom out there.
Oh, I respected that, though, man. Suburban, if you do that, man, you'll be one of my favorite coaches.
Yeah, for sure, but...
I'm excited about the young core they have. I like all their wide receivers. I like their running backs.
What do you expect from this receiving core? Do you expect, Chark to be the alpha and sprinkle in other guys, or you just think it's going to be, who's really going to step up? Who's going to be the guy here?
That is a great question, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, how a rookie quarterback finds someone they really like, and we're going to find out real quick at the beginning of the season who he really, he's got a safety blanket, and then he's got, his deep threat, different things. So, in my eyes, I mean, I hope it's Laviska, but, it's probably going to be DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like how you mentioned, like, it's his blanket and then his go-to, and then that's how I think it's going to be. Like, DJ Chark, kind of his go-to guy, Laviska underneath, getting a lot of touches, and then Marvin Jones kind of near the goal line in the red zone.
What do you think about the running back situation?
Yeah. I think James Robinson can still be very effective with Travis Etienne. I do think, Carlos Hyde, I think he's also going to play because Urban Meyer is strange. He likes his Ohio State guys. But, Yeah, I expect, James Robinson to be good just like he was last year. He's not going to get the volume or the carries or the touches as last year, but when he does get the rock, I think he's going to be pretty good. He's a hard runner, very north and south. But then Travis Etienne, he's going to make a statement from the get-go. They're going to get him very involved in the passing game. I think he opens it up, flats, a lot of different routes. Get him even probably in the slot when they're running 4 receiver sets. He'll probably be in the slot opposite of Laviska. And it's just a very dynamic offense.
They need a tight end, though.
They have a couple.
Tim Tebow is stink about Stark.
Nah, Tebow's going to be good. He's going to make the team. He's going to be a tight end. Don't count him out, man. We haven't even seen him play.
You think he's going to make the team?
Yeah, you don't sign him unless he's going to be on the team. But I do want to say something. The X factor for this team is Josh Allen, the outside linebacker. Last year, he didn't have a very good year, but I think it's going to be rejuiced. I think year 3 is a huge year for him. They're moving back to a 3-4 scheme so he can play the outside linebacker role, and he's dangerous. He was a top 10 pick a few years ago, and I expect him to be really good, like really, really good for this Jacksonville team. And they brought in Shaquille Griffin on the outside, Tyson Campbell in the slot, C.J. Henderson. You mentioned these guys already, but they do have a lot of upside here. Miles Jack.
I love Miles Jack.
Caleb Jason. Like, they have players. Like, they did go 1-15, but for some reason, maybe this new scheme, Joe Collins' defense could bring something else and kind of revitalize this defense.
What do you got in terms of bold prediction?
This is going to be bold. You probably won't like it.
Let's hear it. Try me.
Tim Tebow plays quarterback this year.
You got to be off your rocker, man.
He's going to play quarterback. I think, in goal line situations, I think he will be like a wildcat quarterback.
You think he'll do that jump throw?
He's going to do the jump throw. I'll bet on that. Is there a bet out for that?
I don't know, dude. If there is, you should just put $10 in.
Dude, yeah. I'll make the bet, literally. It's going to happen. It's Urban Meyer. He's weird. But, if Trevor Lawrence comes out struggling, Tim Tebow is going to play quarterback for this team.
They have Gardner Minshew.
This is a bold prediction.
Okay.
He's ultimately a tight end, but my bold prediction is he will play QB at some point this year.
That might be the boldest prediction I've ever heard.
Isn't that crazy?
I have to give you respect. I respect that. That'd be very interesting if it happens.
I hope, man.
My bold prediction is that mine has to do with Tim Tebow, too. Tim Tebow will drop the crime rate in Jacksonville because of his off-the-field, his charity work, his, the good deeds he's going to do, the church services he's going to hold. It's really, really high crime rate, really brutal place, but Tim Tebow will turn around and make it into Provo, Utah. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. People love Tim Tebow. It's weird.
But on a real note, my real bold prediction is that Travis Etienne puts up Alvin Kamara-like numbers. He's basically Alvin Kamara. I can't say 2.0, but like Alvin Kamara as a rookie.
Like Alvin's rookie year?
Yeah, so James Robinson and Carlos Hyde will do Mark Ingram stuff. And Travis Etienne will have his own role cut out for him. But it'll be a big role.
Yeah, I think I believe that. I don't think that's extremely bold, but...
What about my first bold prediction?
Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
Would you be shocked if Tim Tebow led the NFL in jersey sales?
No, I would not.
Yeah, me neither. People just worship him. It's weird, but...
I think he did it on the Broncos, but, he was a starting quarterback.
Probably for the Jets, too, man. It's weird. He's got a lot of cult following.
You know what they should do to a Tim Tebow jersey?
What?
Make it into a priest robe, and the collar is like a priest collar, but it's still a jersey.
That'd be funny. I don't know. He's a good guy ultimately, but...
Yeah, he's a great guy. There's nothing you can really... I know, I'm sure this won't hurt his feelings, what we say, but... Tim Tebow, best of luck. I personally don't think you're good at football anymore, and you never quite were.
We
You're
haven't
good.
seen him yet.
That's just how I feel.
Maybe he wasn't great at QB, but, let's try him out at TD.
We'll see, man. I mean, that's all I can say is we'll see what happens to the holy man himself.
Where do you have Jacksonville finishing record-wise?
I have him 5-12.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, not, for a first year, not bad. Rebuilding, franchise quarterback, new running back, young wide receivers, young defense. It's a promising start to a bright Jacksonville future, man.
They definitely improved from 1-15.
I plan on buying stock in the Jaguars in a few years.
What about buying Tebow jersey?
Not going to happen. The jersey I'd buy would be Laviska.
Yeah.
Laviska, maybe Etienne or not. I'm not a big fan of, I think Trevor Lawrence is a good player, but he's not the type of guy. Like the jerseys I buy is like Plaxico Burress, Aaron Hernandez,
Michael Vick,
Randy Moss, like people like that. Martavius Bryant, Jacoby Ford.
Just tall, lengthy, fast receivers.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on, man. Let's get on to this Tennessee bands.
All right, let's do the rundown. The Tennessee Titans, formerly known as the Houston Oilers.
Thieves.
All right, we got Ryan Tannehill as the starting QB. The Monster Mash, Derrick Henry at running back. A.J. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Des Fitzpatrick, rookie, as their wide receivers. Tight end, Anthony Fursker. They have a pretty good offensive line. They got Taylor Lewan coming back from injury. Ben Jones, who look dead. Their defense is a stand-up defense. They got Jayon Brown, Bud Dupree they added in the offseason, Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit at corner, and then their rookie Caleb Farley at corner, and one of the best safeties in the game, Kevin Byard.
Yeah, they got some good players. I'm shocked that they didn't take a receiver or tight end in the draft, really, early and often. But it's hard to criticize, the first 4 picks were really good. Dylan Redunz, Caleb Farley kind of fell to him. Solid pick, solid draft.
Dylan Redunz is buns.
Yeah, right. He's a mauler out there, man. He's going to start from day one.
I just wanted to say that. He's probably a good player.
But yeah, just the receiving core is kind of worrisome. I like Anthony Fursker. I think he's fine. A.J. Brown is the number 1 receiver in the NFL. Derrick Henry, mauling cats on the ground. Very dangerous. But I do want to say defensively, Jayon Brown's a good player. Kevin Byard's solid. Jeffrey Simmons is a name we all need to look out for. I think he's going to be all-pro first team.
Noted.
In Tennessee this year.
What does he play?
Defensive tackle, 3-4 defensive end. I'm not sure what they use, but big dude on the line, very scary. Very scary. And he's a dominant force, and he's going to take a big leap. This isn't bold prediction. This is what I'm thinking, what I expect from him. And I do like Tennessee, man. They really got better. Janoris Jenkins is good. Christian Fulton, guy they had last year. And then adding Bud Dupree and Harold Landry on the outside is good. It's a good team.
I don't know if they've gotten better. I don't know if it's that concrete that they got better.
I think they did. I mean, who'd they lose?
Corey Davis.
Yeah, and Jonnu.
They lost their corners. Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, they got Caleb Farley.
Malcolm Buttcrack.
Janoris Jenkins, fine.
And, I mean, Josh Reynolds is a good player and all.
Yeah.
I don't know what Des Fitzpatrick's ceiling's like. I mean, he's a Louisville guy, right?
And they got Nick Westbrook, too. Yeah, Des Fitzpatrick was, yeah, Louisville.
I mean, he could definitely surprise me.
Oh, and Elijah Molden is another guy they had. The guy from Washington I want to mention is going to be a stud, probably still the draft.
My question for you is, does Derrick Henry stay freaky?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He doesn't miss a step?
Oh, yeah.
He stays healthy?
2,000 yards.
Again?
Yep. Back to back to back. If he's only done it twice, he'll do it a third time.
I'm wary on that, man.
He's
got a lot of, he's got a lot of yards on him, man. He's got a lot of tread on those tires.
He's built for that, man.
Yeah, but
if he's the one guy who can do it, it's him. If he's the one who can do 500 carries a year, it's Derrick Henry. Ain't nobody else but Derrick. He mauls cats, man. He looks for contact. He's not scared of nobody. He doesn't get hurt. He's the guy. 2,000 yards. Ride it and rip it.
I'm writing it down right now. And do you trust Tannehill?
Yeah, I think he continues to prove everyone wrong like he has the last 2 years. I think he's a good player. But yet again, he's going to have to prove people once again that he's a good quarterback, because he is. And
he's not good.
He's built for this Tennessee team.
He's not good. He's decent.
No, he's good.
He's going to have to prove to me he's good. He's decent.
Which quarterback has ever had a resurgence after 8 years in the NFL, goes to a different team, and is as good as Tannehill? It doesn't happen often.
Kurt Warner.
But when it does happen, the guys are pretty good at it. Kurt Warner is a great one.
Tannehill's not in the same conversation as Kurt Warner.
No, he's not at all, but he's definitely capable of being he's a good quarterback, man.
I look at the Tennessee Titans with squinted eyes, just looking and saying, if one thing goes wrong, this team goes down the gutter.
But what's one thing?
Derrick Henry getting hurt.
They have Darrington Evans, man.
Darrington?
Yeah, Darren.
That doesn't sound promising. Tannehill.
But you're saying that like Derrick Henry could get hurt, and he never gets hurt.
It's football, man.
It's Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and you probably just jinx him, but it's football.
Yeah,
anything
probably
can happen.
But you could say that for any team, man. If they're healthy, they're good, man.
Tannehill is a decent quarterback. He's nothing.
He's good.
Decent.
Have you watched him?
I try not to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for him neither, but he's fine. Like, he makes good throws. I don't think he turns it over a lot. I mean, he's not like he's better than Alex Smith. I mean, maybe he's just a game manager, but he has moments where he does more.
Yeah, I've just always been skeptical, but they always prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I like what they did. I think they're solid still. What's your record for Tennessee?
10-7.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
Do take a step back a little bit. Yeah, I have them 10-7. I think they have like the toughest schedule. Like, I'm not sure where they are ranked like overall, but when I was looking at their schedule, it was really, really tough. Like, yeah, maybe they could win, 1 or 2, maybe 10-5, 11-6, but some of these teams, I think they lose close games. I think normally, so
it's usually their secondary was Garbo.
Yeah, I think they're a little better.
Hopefully
we'll see Farley.
Yeah, Farley and the Jackrabbit, man. He had a pretty good year last year.
I mean, they got 5 potentially good corners: Jenkins, Farley, Fulton, Molden. Like, yeah, who knows, man? We'll see how it turns out.
The Jackrabbit's been on every team in the NFL.
Not the Broncos.
Very true.
Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders.
Why are you saying the AFC West? Are you previewing
Stay tuned,
something?
baby. Stay tuned to it. You can get to it real quick on there.
What's your bold prediction for the Titans? Tighten up!
My bold prediction. My first bold prediction was Derrick Henry does repeat in 2,000 yards. But I figured that's not bold, man. That's what we expect nowadays. But I'm going to go even bolder. Julio Jones becomes a Tennessee Titan. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown combined for 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. Can we just imagine Julio, A.J. Brown with Tannehill and Derrick Henry mauling cats on the ground? Just imagine that for a few minutes. It's absolutely disturbed.
I soiled my shorts thinking about it. But that's a hefty amount of yards for both of those wide receivers.
3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns.
So 1,500 apiece?
Yep. 10 touchdowns each.
You think Tannehill can throw that ball?
I mean, who else does he have to throw to? You think Ferkser's going to get 1,000? No. Maybe. Josh Reynolds ain't getting 1,000.
I don't think...
You can't stop them. If one game they're double-teaming Julio, it's A.J. Brown game, and then vice versa. It's over.
I don't think Tannehill's a gunslinger.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's very conservative.
No. Go watch A.J. Brown.
Well, A.J. Brown.
When you have A.J. Brown, you turn into a gunslinger.
My bold prediction is A.J. Brown will be the number one wide receiver in the NFL.
So what does he finish with? 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns?
No.
So that leaves Julio with 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's possible.
I'm thinking he gets like 1,500 yards and, 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, so 1,508 for Julio. Not
That's
bad.
crazy. For Tannehill?
It's bold. I'm just saying it's not impossible.
Like, I would believe it if it was Dak was their quarterback or something.
Tannehill's fine. A.J. Brown has big games.
If Jay Cutler was their quarterback or something.
If every other game, A.J. Brown and Julio have 6 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, this is achievable.
Well, it's definitely bold.
Definitely bold, man. I ain't scared, though.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a cool duo, honestly. Well, maybe Julio will wind up in the AFC South, man.
Derrick Henry's recruiting him. A.J. Brown's recruiting him. Those are really all you need.
Derrick Henry ever fix his teeth?
Julio Jones is the missing piece. You need one more weapon for this team to really take flight. But I would be scared. They would be a lot better than 10-7 if they get Julio. So, I don't know.
Did Derrick Henry ever fix his teeth?
You don't like his teeth?
He looks like one of them great white sharks.
Yeah,
He's got teeth behind his teeth, behind them teeth.
You better watch what you say. Because this guy is not a guy you want to say that to his face.
I would never say that to his face.
Would you say it under his nose?
No, because I'm taller than him and bigger. I'm the same height. How tall is he? 6'3"?
He could probably whip you with a baseball cap.
He'd whip me with this dreadlock. That thing is it's like a shark fin.
Yeah.
Maybe he's half shark. He's got shark teeth. He's got shark hair.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked if he started swimming in the ocean and he never came up. Because of his gills.
Yeah, he's built different. That's all I know. He's going to go down as one of the best.
You think he has a tail?
He's the best running back in the NFL today.
You think he has a tail?
Tail of what?
Like a tail.
Like a dog?
Like a wag.
No, I don't think he has a tail, man.
You think he has scales?
Yeah.
How much does he weigh?
13-11. I don't know, what, 250? 260?
He needs to drop a few. He needs to get to 240.
Why? He just ran for 2,000 yards. 16 touchdowns. You don't tell a man to do anything different.
He needs to work harder.
What's up with you and Derrick Henry? He's a beast. There's no other way around it. You're just hating.
No, I've been saying this for years. One of these days he's going to break down.
You've been saying that for 3 years, and he gets better every year.
Something about the Titans always prove me wrong, man.
Yeah.
And I know one of these years I'm going to say it, I'm going to be right, so I just say it every year.
You're not going to be right.
I don't wish injury on Derrick Henry. I just know that, time and the tread on them tires, one day it's just going to be...
You can say that about anyone.
Remember when Derrick Henry stunk?
Remember Frank Gore?
Frank Gore's still a very good running back.
That's my point. He has so much mileage. He's still the guy. He's not anywhere like Derrick.
But wait, what was it, 3 years ago Derrick Henry stunk?
What do you mean stunk?
He wasn't very good.
Yeah, when he was sharing the backfield.
With who?
Who was it?
Who was he sharing it with?
I don't know, but he was. Remember? Everyone was scared of him because the other guy was the guy.
DeMarco?
Yeah, it was DeMarco. DeMarco was good on Tennessee for a minute, and then he left, and it was the Derrick Henry show, and he destroyed everyone.
Isn't that weird? DeMarco Murray was on the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah.
Wasn't he on the Stinkles?
Yeah.
He stunk.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the same after Dallas, but he was a monster in Dallas.
Yeah, he was great.
He was great. Really good. Him and Felix Jones.
Darren McLadden?
Larkin?
Darren Aladdin?
Yeah, shout out Walter McFadden.
Shout out Suburban Myers.
Shout out Locke Renton.
Shout out Oscar Mayer.
Shout out Barton.
Who's that?
Creek.
Hey, Austin, Texas,
Yeah,
baby.
Barton.
You got any more things to say?
Yeah, shout out for James Harden being the best defensive rated player in the playoffs.
Numbers are skewed.
Welcome back.
You really love James.
No, I don't. I just thought it was interesting because everyone knows that he's not a great defender.
Well, we've been watching on them playoff games, and we'll probably come out with a pod.
Yeah, we'll probably dance around the fire and let him know.
I ain't doing any of that occult stuff anymore, man.
Let's flavor him up.
Luke likes to wear shorts on his head.
I like to wear them under my pants. Or pant. Let's get into that. Why do we call them pants when you're only wearing one pant? Hey, put on your short.
Pants because there's 2 leg holes.
Hey, can you put on your short for me? Not shorts. You only have one short.
It has 2 leg holes.
Yeah, but you don't... They're not called pants because they have 2 leg holes. So 1 leg hole is 1 pant?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put on your pant.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Pants is plural for more than one.
Yeah, more than 1 hole to put your leg through.
No, it's 1 pant.
Are you bipedal?
No, I'm just trying to prove my point here.
Do you walk on your hinds?
Nah, I walk on my testosterone.
What is that? Testosterone?
Yeah, I use that to fuel me.
You have low T, bro.
I got high T.
You got low T.
Maybe. Nah, there's no way. I'm
You're not an
driven.
alpha like Derrick Henry, man.
Yeah, well, he drinks Viagra juice.
He probably does. All those football players have really high T.
Yeah.
Why do you think they get so agitated easy?
Why do you think they have so many pimples on their back?
Oh, back knee. That's steroids.
Yeah, they're juicing.
Oh, man. Back knee's the worst.
Yeah, it hurts to pimple them.
But sometimes they're the most satisfying to pop.
Yeah, the ones that just go out. But the ones that are deep and they hurt are terrible.
You ever had one that talks?
Yeah, I had one tell me, hey, it's a wonderful kind of day. There's a dog inside my hay.
Dang,
and he wants to say Johnson.
That's the lyrics. Hey, it's a wonderful... What'd you say?
I don't remember.
It's a wonderful kind of day.
Yeah.
I always said it's a wonderful time to play.
And get along with my dogs.
I got a little dog.
Dog in my backpack, name him Jim. Dog in my front, and I give him a grin.
Hey, it's a wonderful time today.
Hey.
You work and love and play.
Hey.
And get along with each other. You gotta listen to your heart. Listen to the rhythm. Listen to the beat. It's a simple message, but it comes from the heart. So believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, 'cause that's the way to start.
Thank you.
I felt the rhythm in my bones.
I felt it in my bum.
Spoon man, come together with your friends. Save me. I don't know why I have these songs coming in my head, man. You got any more?
Nah, I think that covers it.
All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard, another division special, the AFC South. We're coming at you with another division tomorrow. Be ready. Thanks again for listening.
Stay tuned. It's going to be very juicy.
Oh, very, very. Stay tuned, and we'll be coming out with some more content. You guys take care. Thanks for the support. Peace, love, and happiness.
Farting.